We're back. We are back. The wait is over. And we're gonna kick things off with an all-time classic. This is where it all began, you see. This is where nerds originated from. Every single one of them. This was the first impact. The next time you're going down to Safeway and there's a big fat nerd in the ice cream aisle, just know that this is where it all began. So anyway, the big, I guess, feature of Final Fantasy 1 is that you can choose your classes for your party members. Very revolutionary at the time. And we gotta give them names, of course, so hopefully you caught those names before they went away, because we're gonna go with a Beatles theme, because there's 4 of them, I guess. We've got all the hottest references of 53 years ago on this channel. I've been looking at my analytics, and it seems I'm a bit slacking with the baby boomer demographics, so I gotta age up my references a bit. After those baby boomers get done watching Green Acres, they can watch Mongoose 1 Billion for a bit. Okay, so the king from the YouTube poop CDI cutscenes told us that we need to go stop Garland. Ha ha ha, like the judge. Ha ha ha, political humor. Did Mitch McConnell play this game and that's what gave him the idea to stop the nomination of Judge Merrick Garland? Ha ha ha. People who unironically bring politics into their Let's Plays are a special brand of loser. We're gonna take a stand against the injustices of the world, starting with this Final Fantasy Let's Play. This is the right place to give out this kind of message. God, some people just have no self-awareness of how goofy they sound. I feel like there was some channel, it was like the Odd Ones Out or Extra Credits or one of those soy boy storytime animating channels that had a political episode and they were all, vote, get out and vote like your life depends on it. Anyway, let's talk about Final Fantasy, because that's what you chuds came here for, not politics. So here's the weapon store. I didn't quite know what I was doing. I didn't have the weapon compatibility tables memorized, and so I ended up buying a few weapons that ended up being totally useless, but we will deal with that when the time comes. This is a very slow process to get weapons for everybody. And now we gotta, first we gotta do this. Here's the equipment screen, and I made a very rookie mistake right there. I am gonna pay for that later. And now we have to repeat that whole process again, but with armor. So, with that out of the way, move, you dumb bitch. Yeah, that's the thing about this game, is the NPCs tend to block vital passageways and doorways and such. But anyway, with our weapon system situated, now we can pick up some magic. You see, they have separate shops for white magic and black magic, as you can see there. There are some jokes that very easily could be made about this situation, but I'm not going to. We actually do have enough money for at least at least one spell. I didn't think we did. I'll be a monkey's uncle. So, the spells in this are all very basic. You can already tell what that one does. We don't have enough money for any of the black magic spells, so we'll just, have to do that later. So now, we can actually begin our adventure. I suppose it's not feasible to splice in cool overworld music with the encounter rate in this game being what it is. I mean, if there's just gonna be a battle every 5 seconds. So, earlier on the equipment screen, I mentioned that I made a very rookie mistake, and long-term Final Fantasy fans are immediately gonna know what this battle's gonna be like. But for those of you who don't, allow me to elaborate. So earlier, when we looked at that equipment screen, each character had an item, next to their name, and the me of 2 weeks ago who was recording this gameplay assumed that meant that the items were equipped, but I was wrong, you see. There was an extra step where you have to have the letter E next to the items. E is for equip, you see. And so currently we're trying to fight without any kind of weapons, and so we're gonna be here for quite some time. You, dear viewer, are going to learn the meaning of the term glacial pacing. But thankfully you've got me here to make jokes in the meantime and help things go by a little bit faster. Oh, let's see. Gotta think of some jokes for all of you people out there. Did you hear that Queen Elizabeth II might potentially have COVID-19? Why is that the first thing I went to? That's not a joke. That's just terrible. God, I'm a monster. Is this battle almost over yet? I always thought the imps in Final Fantasy 1 looked a bit like clowns, because I guess the sprite art isn't the best. Just with how their faces are pure white, and that orange thing coming out of their eye sockets kind of looks like a red nose almost. Kind of reminds me of that episode of Billy and Mandy where Billy was afraid of clowns. Remember that one? That show was pretty darn funny back in the day. At least a few good things came from my youth, I suppose. I was universally despised by everybody at school, but at least we had funny television shows back at home. I guess that evens it out in a sense. Okay, come on, just one more imp, we got this. Okay, whew. The battles don't normally last 3 minutes just for a single group of enemies, but as I already explained, we don't have any gosh danged weapons. Reminds me of that thing from Futurama where they had Beck on as a guest star, and he said, that song doesn't normally last 4 hours, but we got into a serious thing, and also I forgot how it ended. So I guess the obvious thing to do at this point is to go back and try and customize our weapon loadout and try and get something that actually works. Gee, I think this is what they call stumbling out of the gate. We bought all the wrong weapons and we didn't even bother to equip them, and we ended up spending a third of the episode fighting one group of enemies. It's a rough start, but we will get there. Still not enough magic. Still not enough gold to get the black magic. I fucking love gold. Remember that from Austin Powers? I saw the other day they had a Super Bowl commercial within Austin Powers theme. It wasn't very funny, I mean, nothing is these days, but that was something that happened. Corporations are always 20 years behind the general public in terms of what's hip and what's cool. They're just getting into the late 90s at this point. So, as previously mentioned, a bit of a rough start, but we'll clean things up in between episodes, and then hopefully we'll actually make some real progress. So, yeah.